Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today I thought we'd jump back into St. Peter's first epistle, the 5th chapter, beginning at the first verse, where Peter is going to talk a little bit about the order of church ministry. The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder, and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Likewise, be ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Okay, so as I mentioned, this has a little bit to do with church ordering, doesn't it? Peter talks about the elders who are among you, and he also talks about the oversight, those who have oversight. So there's various different interpretations who he's addressing, but we can assume that he's talking primarily to church leadership in that various region. So who's the leader of the local churches? Well, if it's a larger region in the ancient church, it was an overseer, and that word episkopoi means we've translated it into bishop, right? Overseer. However, the word elder is been from the Greek word for presbytoi, which we translate as a priest. So with those biblical images of bishops and priests that we get from the apostolic ministry, the order of apostolic ministry, where you had bishops who had a geographic charge over a region, and then they appointed elders in the various communities for which they had oversight. So here's Peter talking about the leadership of the church, and he first of all begins talking to the leaders of the church by saying, look, you're a witness of the sufferings of Christ like I am, right? So to be a partaker of the glory of it as well. So what's your job as an overseer, right? Or as a priest or a bishop? Well, it's to feed the flock of God, right? You don't do it by constraint. You don't do it in order to gain money to do it, but to be of a ready mind and not to be kind of overlords, but in fact to be good examples to the flock. So that when Christ comes back, right, the chief shepherd, we will receive the crown of glory. So there is a weight of responsibility on the heads of those who are leaders in the church. And then he comes back around with talking about submitting yourselves to the elder, subject one to another, right? Not just to the elders, but to one to another, because we're clothed with humility. Our job as members of the body of Christ, not the leadership, but all of us, leadership and the lay people, is to be clothed with humility, right? Why? Because God resists the proud, and he gives grace unto the humble. That right there should be, if we were to have tattoos across our forehead, right? Be subject one to another and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble, right? So humble yourselves. So there is that sense of church ordering. It's not about one who's better or stronger or more important, but it has to do with responsibility and oversight, as well as all of our humility, all of our responsibility to be humble, but one to another and before the Lord. So anyway, so it's a little something to think about, to chew about as we meditate upon today's lessons for morning or evening prayer. Today's Friday, and so we are heading into our weekend, and we will do so reading our daily office at home, morning and evening prayer, I hope, and following along in the lessons that are assigned for them, and also begin to make preparations to be at church this Sunday. And may God bless you with a Friday that is overwhelmed with humility, joy, and blessing.